Fan housing's broke. Got to get a new fan. Or super glue this one back together somehow. Better find that piece that fell on the floor. There it is. I'm going to show you the secret to taking the board and power devices off of the heat sink. Now this drive right here has a blown three-phase bridge input, and I've got to take this board off the heat sink assembly to see how much damage there is to that three-phase section. Now we're going to take this board, the heat sink assembly, and put it in a vise, and then with a pair of big pliers we're going to bend this part of the heat sink assembly away from the power devices. Let's go back to the machine shop where the vise is. Okay, here we are at the vise. Now before you separate the board from the heat sink assembly, make you a little mark down this edge lining up the heat sink assembly with the board, because when we put it back together we have to put it back in there in the same fashion that it came out, so that the cover will line up onto the heat sink assembly and the board. Now we want to put some rags down in the vise so that we don't scar up that heat sink. Set this down in here. Don't put it so far down in the vise that we won't be able to bend the heat sink panel away from the board. Tighten that up a little bit. Now grab another rag and put right here so that the pliers don't scar up the heat sink assembly. Now we're going to pry that piece of metal away from the board. Come on. Man, that one's hard. Usually not this hard. Okay. Let's see if that's enough. There we go. It's coming out. There we go. Let's see what the damage is. Oh yeah, over here's the three-phase bridge. Look down in here, we have some smoke damage, indicating that we have had an explosion right here. Some MOVs right there that are smoked. Might have to replace those. Here's some capacitance that might have to be replaced. We'll pull these parts off and see what the damage is, but we're gonna have to order some parts here for this three-phase bridge section. Now while I've got it out, since these things are so hard to take apart, I'm gonna go ahead and replace all of these electrolytic capacitors right here in the power supply section. Okay, give us a couple of days to get new parts, and we'll run it after we put the new parts into it. When you go to put this back together, don't forget, you see this orange part right here, this yellowish orange part? That's the insulators for the power devices. You look at the back side and you see the metal tabs that we have to insulate from each other. And that's what this orange part right here does. We'll have to check the integrity of this part right here where it flamed out onto the insulation and make sure it's okay. But don't forget the insulators. There's one against the back wall here, and there's one right there. Okay, let's get that off of the. There we go. Now you know the secret to separating that board from the heatsink assembly. We'll see you when we get the new parts in. Have a good day, folks. Try to keep dry. We're getting soaked around here. It is pouring down rain. It's a cold rain too. See if we fixed it. There's the pre-charge relay energized. I see a blinking green LED. Looks like replacing those blown up devices in the three-phase bridge fixed it. to do is put the covers on it and install the cooling fan. Very nice. Still have to install the fan. Clean up that heat sink a little bit and she'll be ready to fly. There's U to V. U to W. V to W. U, V, and W look good.